and welcome back. I hope you're all doing really well. I thank you again for the love and support on the most recent video. I seriously appreciate it. Of course, that being said, if you aren't actually subscribed and you did miss the previous video, I urge you to check that out. I spoke a bit more in detail about why I personally like Quant, the token QNT, as well as what may happen in the future. And of course, more information about Hedera and the crypto space, as well as what's happening in the markets over the past couple of weeks. Anyway, let's jump into this video as there's a lot of different information. Again, I want to be covering lots of macro news, lots of different things relating to Hedera, and also we'll be looking at why Quant is doing particularly well at the moment. The first thing I wanted to touch on really quickly was this statement, which I did think I covered in a video a long time ago now, which was a statement from the Bank of England saying, you know, if you invest in Bitcoin and crypto, prepare to lose all of your money. And of course, Bitcoin Archive has lashed out back after the recent swings in sterling, saying if you invest in the British pound, be prepared to lose all of your money. And obviously this is coming off the back of those recent fiscal policies. So quick recap for anyone that's a little bit loose on their economic terms. Of course, you've got monetary policy, which is being set by a central bank. These are typically sort of sovereign in their own right from the government or the parliament effectively of the country. And then you've got fiscal policies which are run by the government. And the reason for having a separation between the both is that so the monetary committees and the monetary policies, the MPC, that can be set is of course independent without bias from the governing party at the time, and this obviously helps steer economies in the right direction if they believe that the government is doing the wrong thing and there is potential for economic damage to take shape. And of course monetary policy as well is very, very rapid to deploy as compared to fiscal policy. So that's why you have these two different bodies effectively for majority of countries across the globe. Anyway, what's recently happened is the central bank in the UK has obviously spoken out against the fiscal policy that the new Chancellor of the Exchequer has laid out for these sort of tax cuts, etc. And not only that as well, we now have the International Monetary Fund, which has been openly criticising the UK government for its planned tax cuts, warning that the measures are likely to fuel the cost of living crisis and are effectively asking the United Kingdom to re-evaluate. Now, this is a problem because the IMF effectively coming out with this statement undermines what is happening in the UK right now and effectively shuns what is happening and has effectively sparked a lot of confidence to be lost within the UK markets, in particular pound sterling, because we could see further inflation spiraling. We could also see interest rates hike even faster, even further than what we'd have seen previously. We're seeing markets already pricing in nearly 6% for the United Kingdom, which is of course going to put an awful lot of households and businesses under stress, and we could see a sort of steeper recession than we'd previously seen. And of course this is important because the UK is a G7 member itself, one of the biggest, you know, within the top 10 of the largest economies within the world, and of course a central hub for finance. If we're seeing risk off and a lot of UK assets being dumped, this will have a spillover effect into other markets as people begin to rejig their portfolios and potentially look to risk off even further. Potentially, if the UK plummets into a recession first, it could drag a lot of other economies along with it. And this is effectively what the IMF is sort of pointing the finger at in terms of why this fiscal policy is bad. So some bad news to start the week off really in terms of macro side for crypto markets as well as equities. And we could see further volatility return to these markets as we have seen for the last several weeks. Some more positive news though is that Revolut has gained regulatory approval to offer crypto services in the UK. I believe it's got somewhere around 15 million customers. I believe that is across different nations. Majority of those will be from the United Kingdom. I did think it was already offering some form of crypto anyway, but if they've got regulatory approval, it means they can roll that out to more of those customers. And again, frictionless services for buying up crypto may not benefit us now during a risk-off environment. People won't be looking to buy into crypto per se unless they were already involved in the markets. However, most certainly during the next bull run, when things get very frothy again and we start to see that money pour back in, this enables even more people to join the markets effectively with less friction between those. We can also see, if I quickly flick along, Crypto.com has also gained regulatory approval to offer those services within France, which is obviously a big move as well, and one that cannot be understated. We can also see here Fed Chair Jerome Powell has been saying the US CBDCs will not be anonymous. And again, this could put a bit of a spanner in the works in terms of adoption. People may be reluctant, let's say, to sort of get involved with pilot schemes for CBDCs, particularly in sort of Western cultures where there is a lot of other alternatives, and shy away from them, particularly when we've got sort of a slightly more decentralized, more anonymity with traditional or existing solutions like, for example, USDC or Tether or something that's backed already and kind of functions similarly to a stable coin of sorts. This may end up hampering the government's ability to roll out a CBDC and could further delay it. And again, we've seen this before, the US government talking about CBDCs potentially being far too behind the curve when it comes to other crypto tech that already exists and is obviously moving forward and in development, etc. So interesting stuff there. Anyway, jumping across, let's take a quick look at the Fear and Greed Index. We're currently at 20 and we've been at 20 yesterday, today, last week we're at 23 and last month we're at 24. Still, these aren't as low as the values that we saw back in July where we saw single digit figures. And a lot of that is being reflected on some of these coins doing particularly well over the past week. My two interoperability plays, I talk about an awful lot, Chainlink and Quant. We can both see here, Link is up 20%, Quant is up 25.6%. We'll be taking a look at why, 36% on the month, something that I tend to average in, particularly when it's below $100. We can see we hit a high 28th of September of $134. We've sunk back down roughly to $129. Who knows if we're going to come back down sub $100. That's where I tend to buy. A lot of people were calling for Quant to fall back into that $50 territory. I'm not 100% certain if we will be seeing that. We see Ethereum W here, or Ethereum proof of work, up 80%. That was part of that play I talked about in the 5 ways to benefit from the Ethereum merge and that I spoke about recently. Again, I can't find HBAR. I'm sure someone in the comments will find it for me later on after I upload this video, but it's kind of been trading sideways, I think, for the majority of it. Regardless, I'm still averaging in massively into HBAR, of course. Talking about why Quant has been surging over the past sort of couple of days or last week or even month, actually, we can see here some information in this thread. Oracle is taking our technology independently to their partners. That's from 𝗟𝗜𝗡𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗠𝗦. This growing strategy is brilliant because Quant can scale fast globally with a relatively small team without selling massive tokens to fund it. Fund the expansion. Those who can't share can't multiply. So their idea here is to basically use a much larger company in order to spread the sort of overledger and the use cases of Quant, obviously that being Oracle, a absolute giant. And then here about the client demand, these clients are not small clients either. Just to give you a ballpark, in a previous company, our annual spend with Oracle was in the range of $200 million. Crypto is not profitable because it's too small scale for Quant. Now you know why. As I just explained, we're trying to increase our team capacity to deal with increasing customer demand. We are making blockchains mainstream by being enterprise focused, and that's the market we're aiming at. And of course, that's the same for Hedera. Crypto marketing you're seeing and expecting from us does not attract any serious customers or partners. We're serious about what we're doing and how we're doing it. It's aimed at the bigger market. I know some of you disagree with this and feel like you know better on what we should not do. However, ranting on it endlessly on social media channels and Telegram, DMing me and my team on all social media channels is not going to change anything. And I find this kind of ironic because this is a similar strategy to what Hedera has employed. You're seeing less sort of mass marketing and more of that really sort of grassroots targeted marketing through the specific channels of those enterprises. After all, they're not trying to reach, Joe blogs on the street effectively to use these services. They are targeting billion, if not trillion-dollar organizations, which will be able to roll out these services and integrate them with existing solutions and products out into the future. And of course, that requires a different strategy in order to target those. And we can see here, Quant is doing so via partnerships with Oracle. Talking about sort of DEXs, of course, HBAR Suite has been dropping some more explanatory videos. This one is covering smart nodes versus smart contracts. I'm just going to quickly scrub through some of this and just look at it. I have spoken about this before. So we can see one of them here. For example, the size limit for a smart contract on Ethereum is around 10 megabytes, whereas on Hedera's obviously consensus services, there is no memory limit whatsoever for these smart nodes. Not only that as well, smart contracts are written in Solidity, an object-oriented programming language, and then require effectively an additional or secondary programming language like TypeScript in order to sort of package these and write them out. Smart nodes can be entirely written in one language. So obviously, this is the development costs of producing sort of decentralized applications with smart nodes should effectively be slightly more efficient and require slightly smaller teams with less breadth of knowledge in order to put these things together. So we can see as well scalability, of course, talking about smart contracts, 200 and 300 transactions per second. Of course, smart nodes being on Hedera, 10,000 to hundreds of thousands, depending on limits. And so we've got different step functions, etc. Dependency, so we can see that the smart nodes are native services and they have effectively fewer dependencies than what a smart contract would have. And of course, that's all running through that consensus algorithm. I'm very excited to see HBAR Suite launch, and it looks like they are getting very close as we see more and more of these videos come out, and they're getting ever more active over on Twitter. Of course, there are other videos on my channel talking about how you can pick up some of those HSUITE tokens if you wish to do so. Again, staying on the theme of those DEXs though, within 30 days, Hedera's first DEX, the pioneering one, as well as the price oracle SAUCERSWAP, has seen 235% growth in number of users. Obviously no front running thanks to Hedera, low fixed fees, it's EVM compatible, extremely fast, high scalability, high security, as well as high availability. All of that being thanks to Hedera. The future is definitely bright, and we can also see some more information and announcements coming out from HELISWAP. $1,000 giveaway is happening to celebrate HELISWAP's upcoming launch. And of course, these guys are looking to be almost chain agnostic in the sense of, actually, I'll backtrack that. It's not not being chain agnostic, I should say. It's the ability to transfer ERC20 tokens and HTS tokens natively between chains. So that link between Hedera and Ethereum opens up the possibility for an awful lot more capital to be flowing between the two chains, in effect helping to grow the Hedera ecosystem. And here we can see $200 in Heli tokens to 5 lucky winners each if you follow them over on Twitter, which you should be anyway. Talking about partnerships then, the HBAR Foundation, excited to announce that 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗥𝗥𝗔𝗟𝗦, one of the world's fastest growing sports franchises, has become the first professional sports league to launch a DAO, transitioning governance to fans and athletes across the globe. Obviously, this is part of that partnership where many of you may have seen, potentially from Mason's videos, and other people have covered it as well, the HBAR symbol on these sort of MMA style or karate fights. Many people were wondering what it was, and obviously it's this partner here. Here you can see it here. You've got Manscaped as a sponsor, and then you've got Hedera in the center here. So the league's August event, Kārāti 35, set a record at approximately 6.6 million digital views. So that's 6.6 million digital eyeballs on that Hedera logo. So hopefully that gets out to someone in order for those use cases to continue expanding. NFTs then. Let's do a quick segment on this and run through this awesome Stay at Hedera article. So Hedera is changing the NFT game. New and innovative NFT marketplaces are booming. The best part, it has everything you need to utilize NFTs' full potential. Perfect timing. So NFT adoption has skyrocketed. New projects and users are moving to more energy efficient blockchains. Spoken about this in great length. And guess what? Hedera is carbon negative. However, there's more new launches as well. And Hedera is preparing for the next massive NFT boom. You've got NFTs HIP 17, configurable royalties HIP 18, and standards 412. These upgrades have brought organic growth and adoption of NFTs to the network, and a unique mission. Hedera has a unique consensus model and novel mission to become a carbon neutral, decentralized technology leader. This will definitely attract more NFT projects, DeFi, decentralized applications, and various new integrations. Powerful wallet and marketplaces. You can collect your favorite NFTs, create amazing collections, and have the ability to trade them as well. And we're seeing more and more of this get rolled out across different platform features. I know 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗥𝗥𝗥𝗥𝗥 is working on something. I featured HBAR Spaces with their minting tools and different things to do with aiding users get integrated deeply into the Hedera ecosystem. All of that tooling and infrastructure is being built as we speak. We've also got the HBAR Foundation's role as well, which are fueling the current NFT expansion, providing grants for these developers, capital resources, extending marketing support, plus technical and operational support. Spoken about their development. I've got an infographic over on my Twitter account showing the size of the development funds that Hedera has. It completely outweighs anything across crypto that we have seen previously. An awful lot of capital being allocated to developing the Hedera ecosystem from the ground up to ensure that it is fully robust and scalable, which is a lot more than can be said for other chains. We've also got the HBAR 250 million metaverse fund. This fund will help to expand that ecosystem further. Like I said, many other funds as well. Talking of NFTs then, Meta Wizards, which are guys that have got a grant from the HBAR Foundation anyway, and I believe originally were looking to develop this game as well as some of the NFTs launched originally on Ethereum, moved across to Hedera. I'm not too sure when, however, it looks like it's going to be pretty big. They've got quite a large following over on Twitter, nearly 80,000 followers. And what we can see is that Familiars are minting on October the 7th. And I think as well, they reached out to 𝗏𝗏𝗄𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 I believe this game is where effectively sort of you can race these particular NFTs between each other. Regardless, mint going live on the 7th of October might be quite a big one. I think it is on dropper.gg. However, I will release something closer to the time. You can see these familiars are going to be things like owls and crows and sort of frogs, etc., staying in line with the wizards and witches theme. Yeah, we can see here, so Dropper NFT partnership. The Dropper NFT Launchpad enables a wide range of participants. So we can see that this is going to be the same as how the Earthlings.land NFTs mint on Dropper's website. Normally pretty seamless, so hopefully this will be quite a good mint. I'm not exactly sure how much they are. So we can see here, the collection will consist of 3,333 familiars at $33 each. These familiars will be minted from eggs that will go through an incubation period. To incubate these eggs, you will have to stake the NFT and begin the countdown period. Eric Forst's platform Dropper will be facilitating much of the development overhead necessary for this NFT collection to be compatible with the Genesis collection and enable a quicker time to market. Familiars will begin to add new dynamics to your races as your wizard climbs the ranks. Familiars will be releasing on October the 7th. So I will be trying to mint one of these if possible, and maybe I will see some of you guys there. Anyway, I want to round up this video. Just wanted to quickly drop this in at the end. I'm waiting for HBAR domain redirects to go live. It's a website I've been working on in the background with my intention to basically leave a page on here with some key hyperlinks to different areas of the ecosystem to always ensure that you guys have got access to the most up-to-date links for these different platforms, for security and the rest of it. So I'm putting together this, and hopefully I'll be able to share a release date for this in the future. Hopefully it's something that will be useful to you guys. Anyway, if you did like, leave a like, drop a comment, you've got something to say. I do try and get around to as many of them as I possibly can. Until the next one, I'll catch you then. Cheers.